Filipinos are fond of scary stories, and this is especially evident around this time of year. I would like to share a story that I have experienced more than 10 years ago. This happened in one of the popular universities in Laguna, Philippines. I was originally accepted as a veterinary student in this university, and I had to board for my lodging. Because this is the first time for me to be so far away from home, I did not really focus on where I would be lodging. All I know is that it is an all-women's dorm and everything has been sorted for me until moving in day. I was one of the students who arrived early to settle in the dorms, and the room holds 4 people. I only had one roommate who's already there. The room holds 2 bunk beds, and the roommate who was already there had settled herself on the top bunk of the bed closest to the window. And I have chosen the bottom bunk of the bed closest to the door. My roommate was really nice, and she's actually an artist too, and we became fast friends in those few days that I have spent in that dorm. It was only my first night at the dorm when I experienced this. I have really bad insomnia, and the way I deal with this is just I read a book. I read a book until either I finish the book or I finally tire myself out and sleep. But yeah, that's what I usually do. So around 3 o'clock in the morning, I took my book and decided to go out of my room. Outside the rooms, there are tables set up, almost like picnic tables with long bleachers for chairs so that students can do their homeworks, or just hang out. So I picked a table right in front of our room so that I wouldn't have far to go just in case I started feeling sleepy. I scanned the halls and there was no one there. I was the only student up at 3 o'clock in the morning, crazy enough to go outside and read her book. About 5 minutes into reading my book, I suddenly felt a shift in the atmosphere, like something had changed, but I couldn't tell what. Until at the corner of my eye, I noticed a group of 3 girls standing by the staircase. I swear they weren't there before. They were chatting and laughing. One of the girls even tipped her head back in laughter, and they were just 4 feet away from me. At this point, panic starts to settle in, because with all the chatting and the laughing, I could not hear a thing. This is an old building with fairly high ceiling, and the only people in the hall were those 3 girls and me. There should have been a bit of echo, a noise, something, but it was dead silent. All I could hear was my breathing and the thumping of my very loud heart. You know what's the worst part? I had my legs underneath the table, which means I either need to move the bleachers back to get myself out, or I'm gonna have to stand up and swing my legs over. Either way, I would have made a noise and I would have drawn their attention. So I sat there for 2 more minutes thinking about my options. It's either they notice me first or I make a move and the heck, I'll let them notice me. But by that time, hopefully I'll be inside the safety of our bedroom. I must have moved so fast because the next thing I knew, I was in the bedroom under the covers, shaking and waiting for sunrise. Up until this day, I don't know if they were humans, elementals, ghosts, or just really polite students who managed to laugh without making a sound.